Hello, everybody. It's Maikito. Large slate tomorrow. A lot of men's Olympic soccer and the League's Cup tomorrow. There's a lot of games to go through. I just thought I'd go and try to find the best ones that I could. There are a lot of games, a lot of picks. So I'll just get straight into the picks that I do like. My first pick is Munir Mohammedi to go higher than 2 saves, playing for Morocco, going up against Iraq. He's gone over this mark in both games. 3 against Argentina and 4 against Ukraine. I believe this line in general is just low because they don't think that Iraq can get those shots on target, but I do think that they will. Iraq gave 14 shots to Argentina and Ukraine, and Iraq, they had 3 shots on target from 6 against Ukraine and 3 shots on target with 6 shots total against Argentina. So they already didn't shoot that many shots against Argentina and Ukraine, and half of their shots were on target, which is pretty efficient for any team in general. And now they're playing Morocco, who, if they even get the same amount of shots and 3 on target, he for sure saves 2, but I believe they shoot more. And I'll tell you why. It's because both teams need to win to go and advance into the next stage. Going into this last game, all 3 teams are tied in points at 3 apiece. So it ultimately comes down to, if you win your game, you go through. So Iraq cannot go through with a draw, but Morocco can. So if Morocco draw their game, and on the other side of the team, their other groups, the teams in their groups, and Argentina win, Morocco go through with the draw. But that's just a what-if scenario that can happen. And even if that's the case and their draw, that just means Iraq just has to be more aggressive, and Morocco is going to play more defensive. So Iraq has more of a reason to be aggressive against Morocco, and we just need Munir to get 2 saves, which I think he can. And they have Hussein, their striker, who's a shooter and their main player. And so far this tournament, Munir has saved 70% of his shots, which is good. So I just think it's a good mark. I like Munir Mohammedi to go higher than 2 saves. My next prop, I just mentioned him briefly on the other side. It is Ayman Hussein to go higher than 0.5 shots on target, playing for Iraq, going up against Morocco. He's gone over in both games, 1 against Ukraine, 1 against Argentina, and now he has to do it against Morocco, and I think he will. Like I mentioned before, they have to be aggressive, and he's their best player in my opinion. If you look at the Asian Cup that he played in earlier this season last year, he played 4 games, 2 off the bench, and still had 6 on target, so averaged over 1. And in the World Cup qualification, he had 4 shots on target in 4 games, so he averages 1 in general. And like I said, it's a must-win game, and if anybody's gonna shoot, it's gonna be him. He's 6 foot tall, and he's an aerial threat, so he can shoot whether it's just left, just right, or even in the air when they're looking for crosses. He's gonna be the person that they're looking towards, and half of the shots that Iraq have taken have come from him. We just need one of his shots to be on target. And like I said, he went over in both games, even when Iraq only shot 6 shots in total. And I expect him to play full minutes. He's played full minutes in both games. And when they need this one, I expect him to be out there. We just need 1 on target for Ayman Hussein. My next play is Guillaume Restes to go higher than 1.5 saves, playing for France, going up against New Zealand. He's gone over in both games, 3 against the US and 2 against Guinea. And like the Morocco pick, I think this line is low because they're underestimating the other side. But you can't underestimate, especially in international games. The USA shot 9 against France, and Guinea shot 12 against them. So it's not like France are like a major defensive, like they've been playing super good defense. They're still allowing a decent amount of shots for their team in general. And the only way France do not get first place is if they lose this game by 4, which is not happening. So France are going through. France are guaranteed to go through. So there's a good chance they could rest some of their players, which one means that might not play their best players, and 2, their chemistry on the team might not be all the way there, which is already good for us. And New Zealand shot 5 on target out of 9 versus Guinea, and shot 4 shots out of 9 on target versus the USA. So if they can do it against the US, I believe they can do it against France. And the draw isn't enough for New Zealand to go through. They need to win this game if they want any chance. So they're gonna have to be aggressive and take those shots. And I think 1.5 is too low of a mark, especially for a team that knows that they have to win the game. And France is yet to concede, so Restes right now has a 100% save rate, and that could also have to do with his defense that are making it easier for him to save those shots. So we just need him to get 2 against a desperate New Zealand side. I like Restes to go higher than 1.5 saves. My next play is Alex Paulsen to go lower than 2.5 goals allowed, playing for New Zealand, going up against France. I think ultimately This, in my opinion, is just a gut call. France have no reason to be super aggressive against them. Yeah, there's a chance that France win and they could score two, but I just don't think they get three. The last game they only managed one against Guinea, and like I mentioned before, France might just rest some of their players in general. So there's no reason for them to go out there and try to win, especially and score three against New Zealand. I believe New Zealand will learn from their last game against the US. They lost concentration early. They've conceded more than three in one out of the two games, which was the last game where they conceded four against the US. They lost concentration and got scored on in the first half 3 times, and I think they learned from that mistake. I don't think that happens again. Like I mentioned, France have no reason to go out there and score. And Paulson, which is New Zealand's keeper, has saved 80.9% of the shots he has saved in the league, like when he played in the league, which is really good. And so far in the cup, he's saved 68.8, so he's still a good keeper. And like I said, I just feel like this is a good call, so I just thought I'd put it out there. I like Alex Paulson to go lower than 2.5 goals allowed. My next play is Lewis Morgan to go higher than 3 shots, playing full Red Bull, going up against Pachuca. He's had 3+ shots in 5 out of 5 games, and he goes from averaging 2 shots away from home and going all the way up to 4.3 shots now that he's playing at home. So that's a big difference, especially for an attacker. He's gone over this mark in he's had 3+ in 8 out of 10 games. And when you look at when he shoots, you guys know that I like to target players that shoot with both feet. So he shot 38 with his right, 20 with his left, and he has had 8 headers as well. So he will shoot with either foot, which is good for us. And then 48 shots that he's taken have been from inside the box, and 18 have been from outside the box. So he's always willing to take those shots from outside the box, which is good for us. And this is New York's last game. In this tournament, they only get 2 games in the group stage in general, so they need to win to secure their spot, so that going into the last game, Pachuca still has 1 more game. If Red Bull go out there and win this game, they have nothing to worry about when it comes to them being able to make it through to the next stage. So there's no reason for New York to hold back. If they lose this game, they're in very, very much a lot of danger. So I think 3.0 in general is a good mark. His line is usually at 3.5. And New York is a good team at home in the attack. They shoot a lot. So I like Lewis Morgan to go higher than 3 shots. And then my last play is Ezekiel Unsane to go higher than 3 saves, playing for Necaxa, playing away from home, going up against Minnesota. He's had 3+ saves in 3 out of the 4 games this season so far, and 3 saves in both away games that they've played so far this season. Now they're playing in the US, which is even farther away as an away game for them. They gave Tigres 17 shots and gave Leon 19 shots. So this is Minnesota's last game, so they lost the first one. So they need to win to go through to the next round. Or any chance to go through to the next round, be more specific. And Minnesota averaged 5 shots on target at home, and Necaxa will go through to the next stage with just a draw. So Necaxa have incentive to play defensive and just try and get the draw, so that way they're guaranteed a spot no matter what, and they still have a game in hand as well. So they're playing away. They have already allowed a lot of shots. Minnesota are going to be very, very much aggressive. Especially since they're playing away, and Unsane has saved 75% of his shots that he's faced this season, which is a good mark. And I think this mark is a good mark to take of going up against a Minnesota team that needs to win. So like Ezekiel Unsane to go higher than 3 saves. I want to give a quick shout out to my partner Underdog Fantasy. You can use code Maikito in the description. They'll match your first deposit up to $100. And also have the YouTube membership for those that are interested in that. It's for those that want to get the video out early before anybody else. And a good way to support the channel if you're interested in that. And I also have my Cashapp and my Fliff linked in the description. Fliff is a mobile app where you can play money lines and stuff like that. So I really appreciate anybody who supports me in any way. When it comes to moneyline plays, I really only found one that I like because for the most part, games could go either way. And because a lot of teams have much to play for, I don't want to underestimate one team or like go for the other. So I just found one that I think I do like, and that's the Spain money line against Egypt. They've won both of their games, and they can't risk not getting first place. Egypt in both of their games have played pretty easy opponents, or at least they're the easier opponents. Let me not disrespect the other 2 teams. They played Dominican Republic and Uzbekistan, and in those games they've only managed to score 1 goal throughout both games. And now they're playing Spain, who first of all has scored 5 goals in 2 games, and they have a better defense than what they've played against the Dominican Republic and Uzbekistan. So for them to draw, like the only risk, I don't think Spain lose. I think the only way that this doesn't hit is if they draw, and the only way that this happens is if Egypt, first of all, either keep a clean sheet and don't let Spain score, which is very very unlikely to happen, or they score as the same amount as Spain, which means us scoring 1 or 2 against Spain, because that's how much I expect Spain to score, and I don't think that's gonna happen. Spain want to guarantee that first place spot, and so they can get a better matchup in this next round. So I like the Spain money line against Egypt. Thank you everybody for watching. If you could like the video, comment as well, helps boost the video out to more people. And if you are subscribed, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And if you are, please turn on notifications so you get notified when these videos come out, so you can get the place as soon as you can. Over last video, not a great day at all. Last time I'm doing women's Olympics, it was a horrible day, especially France losing to Canada. And if you looked at that game, they missed so many chances, so it was just frustrating in general when it comes to that. So, and I had like 2 pushes when it came to the stuff that I had on the other plays. So it came from a good run. It had to end, I suppose. So hopefully we pick up the pace and do better this next time. If I do have any added plays, as always, which I probably will, I will add them in the description, or not in the description. I could put as a pinned comment. It's just easier for you guys. So you can always come back to the video and see if there's any plays. I'll probably have some for Olympics and the Leagues Cup. It's usually about an hour to 30 minutes before kickoff time. But other than that, I hope everybody has a good day, a good night, and we can cash out tomorrow.